Hello and welcome to another episode. Thank you to Acorn Burntwood for loaning me this car for most of the day so I could do this, but it's a shame about the weather. Anyway, I will do what I can today. This is the new Kia EV9 GT Line S, single motor, not four-wheel drive. Don't get on EV6 rear wiper. Useful. Second row, you've got heated and chilled seats, which you can't turn off in the menus, so the kids can still play. And you've got a lever there to make the seat go forward, so it'll go flat. But then you've got to manually pick it back up, which I can't do very well. To get entrance to the third row, you press that button there. Flips it forward, and then press it again to undo that. That's a powered option. Does that mean I've got to push it back? No, it only goes one way. Well, the arrow's only pointing one way as well, so yeah. No, you've got to manhandle it back. Fair enough. Well, you've also got seating controls at the back for the second and third row, so you can do the same with the buttons there. So they're powered. Right, how flat does it fold? Pretty well flat. It's almost completely flat, to be fair. So it's not too bad. Right, width for the cargo bay area with all the seats down is I think it's 41 inches or 1050 millimeters, just over a meter wide. This is the back of the third row of seats. And there's your parcel shelf, which looks very, very similar to the EV6s. And the tyre kit and the usual gubbins. And the length of the cargo area is roughly 2 meters, but I'm just going over the back seats there, which is 2060 millimeters. This is the gap behind the third row, so that is 22 inches thereabouts and 550 millimeters. Now I can bring both of these back up. And you've got a 12-volt socket on there. That's an internal button to open the tailgate. And then you've got your vehicle to load in the back there. Your door lock controls and windows up down controls, and the left and right mirror controls, and you can change the mirrors, and that's your in and out mirror control. Controls for the heated seats and steering wheel are now on the door above the window controls, so there you go. You've got all these extra controls on the side so the driver can control what the seat's doing, so pretty good. Relaxation mode. but only the driver can control those for the passenger, which is useful. Little cubby here, you press the button in, but not much room. And then you've got the one like an EV6 where you can store handbags and stuff. We white can. Fingerprint reader, parking sensor, parking button, and downhill button, and auto hold. And you've got two pop around cup holders there, and then there's two in the back. Can you disable the rear heated seats to stop kids from messing? Well, no, it's just the rear climate controls. That is turned off at the moment, and if I go into the back, there's the rear climate controls. So you can stop the kids messing with those, but you can't stop the heated seats. These are the same as in the pre-production, and that's what I use for a coat hanger in the EV6. It's the same thing. And then you've got loads of USB-Cs on the backs of seats and everywhere. It's got one of these digital mirrors which takes the rear camera view and sticks it on the mirror. So you just pull this back here and that switches. So that's the camera view at the back. That's strange the way it's got a settings button there. So is this a touch screen? Oh no, it's brightness. Okay. Okay, and to get it back, just flip it forward. It's magic. You've also got these little touch buttons to turn the light on. Whereas on the EV6, if you press in the middle of the light, it goes on and off. It's a difference. Oh, that's turning various lights on, isn't it? Right, it's absolutely persisting it down outside. So I can't really do the demo of the sunroof because water comes in. That's the front sunroof which tilts and will open. And that is the rear cover for the back sunroof, which puts the sunshade across. So turn that around. See that it's closing now. And open it. You can actually pick up these tiles on the screen and move them around. So I've moved this from the first home screen so I can move this back across to where it came from, which was there. And you can move the radio one there. You can move the EV one there. This is how to quickly silence the navigation shortcuts. If you stroke down from the front screen and you've got sound effects and volumes there, and off, or off completely. Right, your manual heating and ventilation controls. Although you've got this little touch screen here, it's behind the steering wheel, so a little bit inaccessible. I know you can expand it out, but you've got this row of physical buttons here, which are good. Much better than the haptic ones. So to turn it on, you can press mode up and then up the temperature. Change the fan speed or turn it off. As you cycle around the vents, it turns all the vents on. Or you can just put it on auto. But there are two temperature controls for the left and right, so the passenger can have a different temperature. You see it going up and down. So two zones. And just press auto. Yeah. On the EV6 you've got auto, you can just set it to the base level, but it does tend to put the fan up quite high. And if you turn it all the way down, it goes off. And then a quick swipe through all the screens. So the home screen is this first one, and those are your screen locations. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you've got 4 different home screens. So it's straight left. Then you've got the phone projection, which will take you into Android Auto or CarPlay mode. Voice memos. Don't know why Seats has got its own little menu. Oh, seats heaters. So second row, warmer ventilation, and third row. So that's direct menus to those. Car wash mode, and you can turn off whether you want the side mirrors folded or windows closed. I think no, you can't. Side mirrors are folded, automatic windscreen wipers are off, the tailgate cannot be opened from the outside, sunroof is closed, all windows are closed, flush door handles are retracted, charging cannot be opened from the outside. But those aren't ticks, so strange. So what use are they if you can't turn those features on? This is because I'm in utility mode. This is how you turn on the split screen, which is currently turned off by default. So if you stroke down, you've got all these quick controls. So the split screen is in there. So it says it's on. So maybe it's only available in certain modes. Now I'm playing the radio, so I press home, and then I stroke down. Split screen is on. Right, I found the split screens, and they don't work the same as in the old Kia EV6 head unit. You only get them on the map screen. So if you press map, there's your split screen, which you can get rid of. That's your four-wheel drive traction menu you get in the binnacle, which is hidden away. Nearby charging stations, energy usage screen. You can remove all these from the list if you don't want them. The weather, which ain't working, the sports, which ain't working. Passenger talk. The microphone will pick up the driver's voice and play it through the rear speakers. Hello? Or you at the back? There's a strange kind of echo in here now. That's useful. Calendar, compass, time, 3D camera view, or the above camera view. That just gives you can just switch back to proper camera view, but that's there as well. There it just shows that all the time. Of course, I've got this passenger talk thing on at the moment, which I don't really want. And that's all of your split views that I could find in the split view menu. Everything's turned on, so that's your window split. This is a quick demo of the parking camera. So parking button is there for the parking camera. You press that, and then you've got all of your views. You've got your front view and your above view. Choices, turning various bits on and off. And then the rear views. And then the 3D view. You can't pinch zoom. And then you get a few settings: parking distance warning, top view reference lines, and rear view reference lines. And you still can't change the colour of the car. You've got to pull the handle 3 times, or twice, it says in the manual. There's a massive, that's bigger than the bag I've got for the EV6. To get at your 12-volt battery, you have to take this cover up and and somehow pull that up. This comes up, and that's a bigger 12-volt battery than we're used to seeing, so it's surprising around so many problems. Can't even see the model on that. CCA 500 amp is all I can see. Right, remote park assist. I think you just press lock, and then press and hold to turn the car on. That's come on, yeah, and back. And forward. Okay, I'm driving the EV9 on a slow road, in normal drive mode. I've updated the head unit, the infotainment, so you've got wireless Android Auto and CarPlay, and the best feature of this so far is that the Android Auto appears on the head-up display, as you can see there, the directions. This actually handles quite well. It doesn't feel like the size of car that it is. It just feels really nippy.
Continue on B4154 for 3/4 of a mile.
If I press the shortcut button, and that's how you quickly get to phone projection, and then you can zip back and forth. Now if I press it, there you go. If I play some media, I'm not sure what the media player's doing, but he should be playing media.
In 1/4 of a mile, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Washbrick Lane.
So if I flip up, I should change track, and there's the album art. Excellent. On the head-up display. And again, brilliant.
In 100 yards, turn right onto Watling Street, A5. Turn right onto Watling Street, A5.
Okay, I'm going to try smart cruise control, so press the cruise control button. That's it, set. It's not told me to increase speed yet, which is weird.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Walsall Road, Watling Street.
And that be because the speed limit changed, but it hasn't given me the up and down arrow unless the setting's not set. Okay, I've just enabled speed limit assist and now it's behaving like it does on an EV6 with the up and down arrows, so it tells you to speed up or slow down depending on what the speed limit is. On the motorways, highway driver assist does it automatically, assuming it's read the speed sign correctly. I changed the driver's cluster colour because there are 3 choices. I thought you could do more with head-up display. I thought there was augmented reality, but there isn't on this. So that feature's missing on this model. It's great having Android Auto and CarPlay directions on the head-up display. All that's missing is the battery preconditioning link, which I guess might come.
In a quarter of a mile, at the roundabout, continue straight onto A460.
One thing I really like is how quiet this is.
Exit the roundabout onto A460.
It's definitely...
Continue on A460 for half a mile.
It's definitely quieter than the EV6. Although mine's quite rattly from all the stuff I've got installed in it, so... just getting onto the motorway now so I can show you some highway driver assist stuff. I think the head-up display looks even better. It's easier to see than mine, and the placement and the angle is less intrusive, I find. Might be just imagining it though. It won't go into HDA until you get properly on the motorway. Right, up that to 70. It says automatically adjusting something, but maybe it's the speed. That's a message I don't see on mine. Blind spots warnings working good. The audio on this, it seems like a step up from the EV6. It seems much improved. Managed 3.2 miles to the kilowatt hour so far, and it's 12 degrees. It's probably a good indication of what this will do. I mean, considering it's quite heavy, it's going to be something like that. HDA, yeah, should be auto speed limiting. I've got to put it up to 70. Now it'll automatically adjust into the posted speed limit. And the graphics have definitely changed quite a lot. Makes more use of the screen, I think, but then you haven't got the big augmented reality arrows. Turn by turn, and you've got the similar graphic to the EV6 and Nero EV there. You've got that duplicated, so you don't need to look at it. I guess this is all the sub-menus. It's telling me for looking. You can tell it, oh, there we are. So is this four-wheel drive after all? Because at the moment it's only driving the back wheels, I think, yeah. because I'm in eco mode. So is that different from an EV6 all-wheel drive's behaviour? These haptic buttons are a pain because you can't feel them. You've got to look at them, which kind of is besides the point. They kind of make things more distracting, so I don't like them. Oh, there's the menu. EV menu. It's strange the way this doesn't speed up much. Doesn't behave quite the same as the EV6 does. Once you set it to 70, if it slows down, it puts it back to 70. Now it's back on it again. And this is how you do a manual battery condition. Activate that there, and that's reporting the battery temperature's low. So the battery care should start creeping up in a bit. Strange that the battery care hasn't activated, the battery heater, the battery preconditioning is not activated. I mean, it's got a light on it, but there's no power coming off the battery care box there. So that's off, that's on. It's at 13 degrees outside. So it would, in theory, condition the battery. It's just I'm not seeing any energy usage. Let's try a lane change. I may have wobbled the steering wheel too much. Oh, I see, battery care is showing 5.5 kilowatts, which is higher than an EV6 would use, but it's a bigger battery, I guess. And because the percentage was 0, I didn't notice. I'll turn that off because I'm not going to use it for charging. So on the home screen when you're driving, you've got the map always on all the time, even though I'm not using it. You've got your meter currently playing, and then you've got your various charge stops and your EV menu, which is probably good things to have. I don't know how customizable this is though. If I press and hold the distance meter, will it switch modes for HDA? Yes. So one is a learnt kind of mode of driving style, and the other one is linked to drive modes. If you press and hold it again, it changes colour between white and blue, exactly the same as the EV6 and the Nero EV. Alright, let's try a lane change. There we go. Get off and turn around and come back down now. When I'm out of HDA mode, it's driving both motors, so iPedal in both motor mode is going to be less efficient than level 3, I guess. press and hold the up button, it'll go up in units of 5. I've just noticed on the shifter that you can see what drive mode it illuminates what drive mode you're in an LED. Useful. Managing 3.1 miles per kilowatt hour somehow. I'm not going that fast. I think this keeps on dropping out of HDA mode when you're not expecting it. You'd expect that if you press the brake pedal. Maybe I did. This is the sound at 70, so I'm just going to speed up to 70 and get in the fast lane. The HDA definitely behaves differently. Right, I need the M6, so I've got to turn here. This is the 3D camera. You can do a rear and above view, but only that. So. Oh, that's forward view. You can't do that on an EV6. And the above view, and then a rear view. And a split and rear view. I don't think you've got that much flexibility on an EV6. Back on. On smart cruise control, the angle changes on the head-up display when you go around an island and curves like it does on the motorway. That's new. This isn't going to offer me a speed up until I see this is the sign. Go on, there we go. press and hold to switch between alert mode and drive mode, where it changes colour from white to blue, then back again to white. Right, let's try some sport mode. That's more like it. The massage seats just kicked in after a certain time. I did set it up earlier, but I must have been driving long enough for actually start pulsating. It's a weird sensation, pushing my back around, but it's probably doing it good to stop me from getting backache. I hope. It's like it's breathing, inflating and deflating at the moment. Right, I'm going to try sport mode, 4-wheel drive, 0 to 60. Right. Yep, that'll do. Be nice to get a straight line. This is new when you're reversing. It gives you the zone of where the parking sensors are going off. And also you can see my car there. That is the auto dip mirror, which you just set there. That's the parking button. Okay, so what's my verdict? I know it's very expensive for what it is, but it's in a segment above the EV6, and it's a whole different market of people who need to move a whole family around in style, and I think it achieves that, and it does everything you need. I think some of the highway drive assist functions seem very hit and miss. It would seem to be dropping out a bit for no good reason that I could see. The new infotainment system takes a bit of getting used to, and the fact that they've moved the back button to the bottom right, as before it was at the top left, it seemed to make more sense at the top left. Coming from an EV6, also the shifter, you have to get used to that now, because you're used to just turning it with your left hand, not your right hand. I didn't find the driver attention thing too intrusive. The Frunk actually looks, front boot storage looks bigger than I thought it would. This is the all-wheel drive one. I found the all-wheel drive graphics, so it definitely has all-wheel drive. So this is the current top level that you can get a GT Line S in the UK. The only feature I've not tried is the remote parking assist and the parking system, but I've just not had time today. It's been a very crammed day, and I've got all kinds of stuff going on back home as well that we could have done without. So for what it is, it does an excellent job. That's my verdict. Efficiency, I was getting 3 miles to kilowatt hour. So I suppose for the size of vehicle, that is not that bad. I was driving in eco mode on local roads. I didn't bother messing around with other settings. On the motorway, it's doing its own thing, so it's just completely automatic. The wireless Android Auto works really well. The sound quality, despite what I've heard from other people, was excellent. I thought the audio was booming. That's because the bass was turned up to 10. So I don't know who's done that. Head-up display seems better. The fact that Android, Google Maps and CarPlay can now send their driving directions onto the head-up display is really good. That would be nice to have on an EV6. And the manual preconditioning will help you out so you can set that going and you don't have to rely on the built-in maps to do it. It's very quiet to drive, very smooth, and if it's your kind of thing and you're looking for a Range Rover replacement at a lower cost that's electric, I think this is the thing for you. Thank you for watching.